And I would not hesitate to say that many a times women judges are doing even much better than the male judges. So when women are on the judiciary, it is like an asset. They understand, the ground realities. They know the difficulties because they have gone through it. Right now, if we see, there is only one woman judge in the Supreme Court. The studies are showing that 8 high courts today have only one lady judge out of the 25 high courts, right?
Why is it that the judicial appointments is not expanding on the gender representation front?
It would be very difficult to answer this question because those who are in the decision-making process, it is up to them.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Leaflet. Today, we have with us Justice Sadhana Jadhav, a former judge of the Bombay High Court who adjudicated there for 10 years, and she has handled a notable series of criminal cases, including the death of Sheena Bora, Adarsh housing scam, the student suicide relating to the medical resident Payal Tadvi. And ma'am, on her farewell, was described by her fellow colleagues as Sachin Tendulkar of the Bombay High Court. And we're really excited to have this conversation with ma'am today. So welcome, ma'am, and we're really glad to have this conversation. The first question I would want to put forth is on your own experience in the Bombay High Court as a judge. For a decade, you have adjudicated in the Bombay High Court as one of the few women High Court judges in the country. Especially, what is your experience, and would you like to share with us what are the specific systemic challenges that women judges across high courts in India and the district courts face and may have to confront?
Good evening, everyone. So coming to my personal experience, let me tell you, I was practicing at the Aurangabad bench of the Bombay High Court, and the major practice was on the criminal side. Major. Of course, I was having civil matters representing Airport Authority of India, HPCL, and other statutory bodies as well. But after 21 years of practice, more than 21 years, I was elevated to the Bombay High Court. I was a defense counsel, a rare thing to happen, of course. So initially, I was posted at Nagpur. And after 8 months, I came down to Bombay. On a personal note, I should say, see, there are certain challenges. First of all, I was not stationed in Bombay. So I was coming from, you can say, a second tier city or a third tier city like Aurangabad. So most of the times there was a misunderstanding whether she will be able to deliver. Coming from there, can she face the challenges? But I should thank my colleagues, the then Chief Justice, and the members of the collegium. They were very cooperative, and I should thank them for reposing faith in me. And of course, I had no difficulties in handling the matters. Yes, there are certain, looking at the women initially, they do underestimate you. Like, oh, women taking up, the matters. But then, time and again, we have all proved that we are not less than men. And as far as Bombay is concerned, let me tell you that all the women invariably put in the best of the efforts. They are extremely hardworking, all of them. Till today, I can vouch for that. All of us, they are so much into building up the system. Like under the guidance of Justice Abhay O, the Bombay High Court was the first one to start the pre-litigation center. And he gave me an opportunity to head that pre-litigation center. And for about more than 5 to 6 years, I was heading it. And we opened almost 10 to 11 centers all over Maharashtra at district places. So when women are on the judiciary, it is like an asset. They understand, the ground realities. They know the difficulties because they have gone through it. They know what are the difficulties of the women. But let me be very candid. Women can give bold judgments. Most of the times we have seen that the male judges hesitate to give any order against a female litigant. There is a fear. They always want to show that, we are all in favor of men and all. But that doesn't happen with women. We are very practical. And I was very happy that I could get the opportunity to be a part of the Bombay High Court. And moreover, the opportunity I got to decide about 8 death penalty cases in a record time of 2 months. We could hear and give judgments in 8 death penalty cases back to back, besides the other cases, within 2 months. And I can only say that, they build up the system. They are aware that the judiciary is the last hope of the last man of the society. And that is the best part. So I feel that women add a lot of essence. They are into building up the infrastructure, like it was the women judges of the Bombay High Court who have put up a model juvenile home, a model family court. They add to the infrastructure also because these are the inherent qualities of women. And irrespective of all the difficulties that they have on their home front, they never compromise with their duty in discharging, imparting justice or discharging their duties, because it is always in the back of their mind that they are doing a public duty. So I'm proud to be a part of the Bombay High Court.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you make a very important point when you say that female judges gave very important orders. And that takes me to my next question, and that is representation on the bench. And representation on the bench is itself a very important objective that we have to realize. And given the strength, the number of women judges that we have in our country right now, which is considerably low, uh, my question to you is, do you think representation on the bench would also strengthen the nature of adjudication in our courts?
Of course, this bridge of gender disparity, it has to be covered, because otherwise it is just like giving lip service by saying that okay, women have equality and all that. So, and definitely representation right now, if we see, there is only one woman judge in the Supreme Court. So many a times it so happens that the merit is not considered. It is not that all over India we don't have women who do not have a merit to go to the Supreme Court. In addition, there is seniority also. But we do not know why there is no more representation in the Supreme Court. And in fact, that should be a model. Having women only in the high courts is not sufficient. So representation must be there so that you have the other side of the story also, something very practical. Now, in the high courts, in most, like the studies are showing that 8 high courts today have only one lady judge out of the 25 high courts, right? So that is also not fair. And by and large, there is merit in women. When they say that we are equal to men on all levels, and they are the one who hit the glass ceiling. They have the family responsibilities. which generally a male judge may not have to shoulder. But despite all that, they are good at their work.
Um,
So
yes, thank you, ma'am.
it should not come as a token, is all what I feel.
Yes. No, that is correct. It should not be tokenism because tokenism overrides the
Yes,
consideration of equality somewhere. And but another issue is also that as we look at the numbers, we see that actual representation is so low. And as you pointed out, we have such meritorious women in the field, in the legal field,
yes.
and we don't have a lack of merit. So, what is this structural problem that we have, which is perhaps, as you pointed out, seniority? Why is it that our judges are not uh, more? Why is it that the judicial appointments is not expanding on the gender representation front?
It would be very difficult to answer this question because those who are in the decision making process, it is up to them. And when they give speeches, you can see they speak a lot of things. For example, in bar councils, if you see, it was always male dominated. And then the High Courts and the Supreme Court said that no, women need representation in the state bar councils. And that is how they have suggested that minimum five women should be there in the bar council. Two would be co-opted and three would be elected. So if they can do this for the bar council, even I keep on thinking as to why no decision is being taken to give more representation to women, and especially when they are doing well. And I would not hesitate to say that many a times women judges are doing even much better than the male judges because there is no hesitation. And at the same time, you can see the general perception. Suppose there is some error committed. This is from my own experience, I can tell you. Some error is committed by a women judge. There's so much of criticism. Actually, what she means to say, the spirit is there. Maybe the formation law of language, the formation of sentence, something goes wrong. But there is so much of criticism as if male judges do not make an error at all. So, still, we have to get over these hurdles. And it's high time, I think, we should get over these hurdles. And for this, of course, I can't say much because the way I said that it is amongst the people who have to take decisions as to how the representation should come. At least in their speeches and their policy making, when you will see that they speak very highly about women. They appreciate the women judges. There is no dearth of respect that is extended to them. But then why no representation?
Correct. As you rightly pointed out, there are always inherent biases. What
Yes.
I gather from
Yes,
your
there are
answer,
inherent biases, is
yes,
precisely what I meant to say. And I do not know why that bias remains when it comes to the highest court of the country. And we have meritorious women, we have the senior women judges, and they are contributing not just to the best of their capacity, but something in the interest of the judicial system. So, this disparity which is there, that only the people who are taking the decisions will have to, we do not know what are the difficulties. It's high time that I may not say equal representation, but at least a marginal representation. Not There was a time in the Supreme Court that there were five female judges, women judges there. But then for the last 2 years, we are seeing there's only one judge. And she has also stood the test of the time. She's one of the best judges, I would say, that the country has. She's bold. She wouldn't hesitate to, you know, pass judgments even against women. And there's one more thing about women judges. You will see that they never make offhand remarks from the dais, which you may observe with the male judges. You will hardly see any woman judge making an offhand remark, maybe against a person, against the society, against the religion, or whatever. So these are some of the major considerations due to which women need sufficient representation on the bench.
Mhm. And Justice Jadhav, as we spoke about these inherent biases and the issue of representation on the bench and the bar as well, you have been a judge for 10 years. My final question to you is not for myself, but for the people who are watching this and the young women litigators who are going to watch this. What is your advice as a former practicing lawyer and a judge of the Bombay High Court to these young women?
See, I'll tell you. According to me, although I'm saying that there has to be a marginal representation, let me be very candid and say that solicitation for elevation by anyone, maybe a male judge or a female judge, by itself would be a disqualification, because it should come as a recognition, it should come as an acknowledgement of the work that you have done before the court, and you should be selected on the basis of that. So, therefore, I would say that those who solicit, they may feel, maybe afterwards they may do well, but then that would deprive some other worthy person who would deserve to, to be elevated. That may deprive him or her of the opportunity. So therefore, no solicitation, and the system has to take care of this, that they shall not do this. Then when it comes to litigating lawyers, first thing is their patience and perseverance is very important. Most of the lawyers, they want these days, because of the social media and all that, they want to become popular, they want to become rich. Now, what I'm against, I'll tell you. Suppose a bail is granted in the court of law. We see lawyers putting that orders on the Facebook, saying that this lawyer represented the litigant and he has been granted bail. So that is not fair. This is like an advertisement which is not ethical. Your achievements to yourself, and somewhere ethics has to be there. And for that, I would say, right in the law colleges itself, they should have a special subject, something like professional ethics. Because in whichever field of law they may go, whether it is a corporate practice or a chamber practice or a litigation, that professional ethics has to be maintained. And not to take advantage. See, this happens when someone is elevated from the bar. You may find lawyers who may say, oh, I know, that particular judge. That personal touch, because there should be certain self-imposed restrictions. And as far as judges are concerned, I would say that they are not judges just on the dais. Once they take the oath, 24/7, they have to be aware that they are discharging public duty. And that is how they should conduct themselves, not just in the court, but even outside. And that is very important. So this is my take.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the interview. And we look forward to having more conversations with you.
Thank you. And of course, I would like to wish Happy Women's Day, not just to the women, but to the men, because the women are the backbone on the basis of which today they stand.